Okay, so I'm here in one of the neighborhoods in Niagara. This is actually Thorold, and of course lots of density going on here. Now when they first opened this community about 10 years ago, this is the newest phase I'm standing in now, but 10 years ago, nobody would buy these homes in this area. Now the first phase, to be fair, they were a lot better quality than they're building these days, and they had bigger lots and whatnot, and they're not bad homes, but the one reason nobody would buy these was because they're surrounded by you can see there's power lines everywhere back in the background. So all three sides of this neighborhood are surrounded by big power lines that come from Niagara Falls, right? They come right through either side of the fields on this neighborhood, and yeah, you're surrounded by power lines. And looking at these lots here, the hydro tower is literally right behind your backyard. Like, they're probably going to build a fence where that black barrier is, and that's your backyard, and the hydro tower is right behind it. It's a big one too. So of course, nobody really from this area wanted to buy these homes. So who bought them? Out-of-town investors and out-of-town purchasers. They would buy them thinking these are, a great deal for the money, nice big house, decent lots in the first phase. And so they started buying them slowly. And then over time, the more speculators came, and of course, you know what happens then. They buy everything. In this neighborhood, in the last 6 months, there's been 21 sales and 55 leases. So that goes to show you the ratio of sales to leases. So of course, a lot more leases in this newer phase right now, and it would be a large majority of speculators and investors that bought here. Now, the one good thing about this neighborhood is you don't have to worry about the crime rate or crime in general, because the jail is right here. So all the criminals are in the jail there behind me. So of course, unless they break out of the jail, they're not going to be breaking in your house, and they're securely behind the fence in this small field here. And this is probably less than, it's like not even 500 meters away. And there's no barrier besides the fencing on the jail. So now, of course, another big reason nobody would buy them around here, and the reason they built the jail here, is because it was far away from homes. Of course, when you build a jail, you want it to be far away from residential communities in case the worst happens and inmates escape. But of course, over time, and the speculators don't care, so they could sell houses here, no problem. So there is tons of houses in this neighborhood. And again, nobody would have bought them if it wasn't for the speculators, and they wouldn't have been built. So I guess we'll give them credit for that. But again, not an ideal location, living right next to a jail on one side, and the other sides are all high voltage power lines and the towers that come with them. So many of these homes have towers in their backyards, as I'll show you now in a second. One more thing I did want to mention about the jail, or detention center they call it, but it's a jail, is you cannot stop on the main road out front of the jail. Now you can stop on this street here, but just on the other side of the jail, you can't even stop a car, because they don't want inmates potentially jumping in your car, I guess. I don't know why, but it's kind of odd. You can't stop there, but you can stop here. Anyway, I found that kind of interesting. I didn't know initially if it was okay or legal to fly a drone so close to a jail or detention center, because I've heard stories about people dropping drugs in and doing illegal things with them. But then I thought, well, if people can have family barbecues and whatnot just a few hundred yards away in their backyards, I figured, yeah, what's the big deal? And I wasn't doing anything illegal with it, and I wasn't flying directly over it. So anyway, here's some footage from it. Okay, so this is just like insane to think that someone would buy a house or even rent a house when there is literally prisoners in orange jumpsuits right there. You can see them in the yard on the bottom right, and your kids could be playing in the backyard on the swings, or maybe having a family barbecue. And of course, if you want to add in the power lines, which a lot of people don't like with kids, and I don't blame them, but yeah, just insanity. I really can't believe it's that close to a jail. So these are the types of neighborhoods speculators love, because of course you love cheap houses next to whatever, doesn't matter, jails, power lines, it really doesn't matter for them, because they're just looking to make a profit in the future, and they're going to rent them out, and you get what you get. Anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.